Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Marriage, Money, and Mindset. We're your hosts. I'm Jared.
And I'm Alexis.
And welcome back to another episode of Marriage, Money, and Mindset. We come to you every Monday at 5 p.m., dropping content on marriage, money, and mindset.
If this information is helpful to you or if you like what's being said, don't forget to share it with a friend or a family member and subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Yeah. And we appreciate y'all for returning, for the returning guests, for the new guests. Hey, welcome. This is your first time watching Marriage, Money, and Mindset. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Yeah. You know, so actually not last week, guys. I'm sorry. We
took a little break.
You know, we've been gone the last about 2 weeks. You know, so we've been getting it though, man. We out here hustling, you know. Speaking of hustling, that was our last episode that we did, hustling for a weekend or hustling for financial freedom.
Yeah.
You know, so we hustling for financial freedom, guys. So, you know, we try to stay committed to it, to the channel. You know, we've been, for the most part, we're
committed. Just stay consistent.
Yeah. You know, but we do apologize, you know what I'm saying, if you've been keeping up. So, and that, like I said, that was last episode, episode 53. We talked about, you know, basically taking that time when you have off on your weekends, instead of being off the entire time, you know, take a portion of that time and hustle. Mm-hmm. That way you're not hustling just for the weekend, you're hustling for financial freedom, right? So It was a good episode. Y'all go back and check it out. And by the way, we want to apologize for the audio on that particular episode. We had some... what is called
technical
difficulties. It's a little echoey in that video, but we do apologize, and you know,
thank y'all for bearing with us.
Yeah. You know, so but anyway, guys, so we're on episode 54 this week, and today's topic of discussion is going to be a topic that, you know, I think most individuals like to discuss, especially, you know, the grown and sexy individuals. This episode is Let's Talk About Sex. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Let's talk about sex.
Let's talk about sex, you know. So yeah, guys. So, you know, this is for the grown and sexy. You know what I'm saying? You know, very mature crowd, you know. We're going to focus on keeping the sexual and intimate aspects of a marriage alive and exciting over the long term, guys. Because sex is important in your marriage, right? I put it up there at the top, you know, what top 5? You know, it's definitely top 5. You know what I'm saying? Anything else you want to comment on before we get into this episode?
We're basically going to get into how sex may change from the beginning of your marriage on in. And how to keep it spicy.
There you go. And then we also going to dive into some patterns, sexual patterns, and you know, different phases of, you know, how sex plays into a marriage, right?
Yeah.
You know, so, but yeah, guys, so sexual satisfaction actually correlates with overall marital happiness. There's actually some statistics I looked up on that, and it was pretty interesting to see that, you know, your sexual relationship, how it correlates, you know, with how happy or not you are in your marriage, believe it or not, right?
Yeah.
So that's a real thing. So couples with higher levels of sexual satisfaction also tend to report greater overall relationship satisfaction, right?
And I would agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, man.
Yeah.
You know, if the sex life is on point,
right?
Obviously,
you're connected emotionally, physically.
Right.
It's just tying everything together.
Yeah, exactly, right. Okay, guys, so what we want to do is talk about, you know, we have 5, there's obviously more, but, you know, we want to condense it down. So we're going to talk about 5 sexual patterns or, you know, phases that sex plays in most marriages, right? Okay, so of course, let's start with the first one. Talk about it, baby, the honeymoon phase.
All right, so in the honeymoon phase, like I said, the word spicy. So it's a higher frequency of sex and passion early in the marriage. Couples typically experience heightened sexual desire and intimacy. So there's excitement, novelty, and often frequent sexual activity.
Yeah, man. You know, that's out the gate, you know, the down and dirty.
Bunny rabbits.
It's going down.
Anywhere, anytime.
Yeah. You know, that's usually, I think most marriages definitely have that phase, you know, in the beginning stages for sure. You know, it can die down. I think, you know, thinking about it, that's actually the phase I still feel like we're in, me personally. We've been married going on 7 years, guys. It'll be 7 years married in February of 2025. 8 years total.
Good
And
job.
to me, I feel like it's still honeymoon phase. It just, that's the point too. We want to talk about how you can stay in that phase, right? So, in my opinion, one way to keep that fire lit, is just being spontaneous, right? That's one piece.
Yeah, and I would say
Yeah.
to add on to that, being intentional too.
Being intentional,
Like
of
you know
course.
that that's your partner's need,
Yeah.
not just the male's need, but the woman needs the same thing.
Right.
Maybe not so high on the list, but it's a need for both of us. So just make sure that you're fulfilling your partner's needs in that area.
Right on, right on. Emotional connection and physical attraction are often at their peak, and couples are more adventurous and spontaneous, what I just mentioned, right? Sex during this period helps solidify the emotional and physical bond. So it's very important, I think, if you're jumping the broom with somebody, you obviously maybe potentially have had, sexual intercourse with that individual and kind of got an idea, of how that's going to go down, So it's obviously that honeymoon phase is going to be on point,
Right.
needless to say, right? All right, let's keep it moving though. So we're going to talk about the routine phase, guys. So the routine phase, right? So it's more predictable sex over time as the relationship becomes more stable. Sex may become more routine, right? The initial novelty wears off, and couples may settle into a comfortable rhythm of physical intimacy. So now we're talking about,
The day-to-day life has kicked in,
yeah,
and there's other things that that may come before sex. Like maybe you're not making time to do it every day or every couple hours of the day. It just dies down a little bit.
yeah. I mean, it's just like literally comfortable. You're just comfortable with each other. It's probably like not as often,
Yeah.
right?
You may not
It,
be
it, it
dressing
could almost
up
it could almost be planned
Yeah.
with some couples, right? They
like
may
Tuesday
have
at 8 o'clock.
no, they may have like a real calendar written out, like this day, this time. Yeah, like you said, Tuesday at 8 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
But-
may be necessary
Yeah.
in some relationships because, like we were saying before,
Depending on how busy
you
it
want to be
is.
intentional. So it's not something that you want to just let on the back burner. Whenever it happens because weeks can go by, months can go by, and you don't want that that sexual desire, that physical intimacy to die off.
Yeah. One thing I will say about this phase, guys, is you want to make sure you focus on quality over quantity, right? Because obviously it's not happening as often. So when it does happen, it needs to be top notch. You know what I'm saying? So while frequency may decrease, the sexual encounters can become more meaningful and attuned to each other's preferences, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you discover your significant other's preferences? Well, that may just have to be a conversation, right?
Yeah, a couple conversations.
Talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, talk them through it while it's going down. Tell them
can
what
do
you
that
need.
too. Yeah,
But
exactly.
I know you said, in your opinion, we're still in that honeymoon phase. I kind of feel like we've settled into the routine phase, not in a negative way, but I do feel like we're in our routine of life. Both of us
Right.
have different things going on as far as like work wise.
Yeah. But one thing I was going to also mention. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Quality
Take me a sip. Talk.
versus quantity, that's something that I kind of honed in on. Like it's not just bunny rabbits, but it's quality.
Don't say bunny rabbits, dog. Nobody know bunny rabbits right here. All right, but anyway, what I was going to say though was I think you can be multiple phases
At different times.
at different times.
Yeah.
You're not just sold on one phase. If you're honeymoon phase, that doesn't mean you can be honeymoon and routine. See what I'm saying?
So you think that later on in marriage you can go back to that honeymoon phase, like
could.
that can kick back in?
Yeah, you definitely could.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's important to go back to that.
Yeah.
Some couples need to remember, reminisce on how it used to be. You know what I'm saying? And go back to that,
Yeah.
Okay, so just to finish touching up on routine phase, focus on other priorities. Or they focus on other priorities. As life becomes more structured, sex might not be prioritized as highly as in the beginning, right? So again, guys, there's nothing wrong with this phase. Nothing wrong with any of these phases, by the way. We're just touching on how each phase, some marriages may have, these phases in their marriage, right? Okay, so let's keep it moving. Let's talk about the third stage or the third phase, Hershey? Talk
The
to me.
third phase, I kind of hit on it just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's called the life stage phase. So this is whenever you involve children or careers and stress. So whenever you bring children into the equation, your sexual dynamic may change in your marriage. Same thing with career pressures and stress with your job. What you think?
You tired, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The career got you. Got your time. It's consuming your time. You come home, your energy, you know, is not on 10 no more. Sometimes you may be a little stressed from the job, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, we get it, it's life, you know. Then if you got children running around, you know, where do you find the time, guys? You know, but you do have to find the time, in my opinion.
Yeah, you
I
do.
think you still have to make it a priority. Back to that routine phase, you know, it may be a little bit more routine if you think you're, you know, if this is potentially the phase you may be in, that life stage phase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's a balancing act. You know, you're spinning a bunch of plates. You don't want them plates to start falling. You got to
Right.
keep them all spinning, you know.
Yeah.
You know, demanding careers or financial stress, it can take a toll on your sexual intimacy. So don't let it do it. You know what I'm saying?
This phase, it can lead to feelings of disconnection, or frustration, because it's not happening as frequently. So one or the other may become frustrated, or both of you guys may become frustrated because it's something that you desire, but you don't have the energy, or you're not prioritizing it.
And you may feel, you know, frustrated or disconnected with your significant other in this time. Why you look at me like that?
It is hot today. Whoa, it's hot out here, man. It is hot today.
You know it's hot out.
Yeah, I just said that. I said it's hot out here, man.
Yeah, you know it's hot too.
Yeah, that's why I said it, man. It is hot out here.
That's what you
Because
just
it's hot
said?
outside too.
Oh my God, this woman. Anyway, yeah, you know, so if that is, like I said, guys, you know, definitely want to make sure. This could be a dangerous phase, in my opinion. You know, if it lingers too long, it can be detrimental to your sex life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you are in this phase, guys,
Get a hold on it.
yeah, man, you know.
One thing that I was gonna say also, something that helps me, basically, if I can give this type of energy and effort into my job or into the people that are at work,
Right.
then I should be able to come home and give my husband that same energy, if not more, because this is the person that I love. So I should be able to pull that energy out of somewhere, or save some energy.
Sometimes
so
I
that-
might have to charge her up, though, you know. She might need that charge. You know, think like a phone. You know, sometimes
Need some more juice.
that phone ain't been juiced up. We have to put it on that charger. You know what I'm saying? She'll find it. You know, she'll get the energy back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, guys, you know, that's life stage, right?
Yeah.
So let's keep it moving. Number 4, sexual shift phase. This is a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, so this one, there's a difference in desire. So you may have a mismatched libido with
I like
your
the word libido.
with your spouse. So one may want sex more often than the other person.
that's
That leads
interesting.
to potential challenges and negotiations around the frequency and the initiation. So if I want it more than you, and I'm always initiating, I may get burnt out on that initiation, or I feel rejected because you're not returning the favor.
Yeah, man. I think if a couple's struggling with this particular phase in their marriage or sex life, it all boils down to communication, man. Like you gotta communicate that.
Right.
You can't just assume that they understand your drive, right? Especially if they're, you know, if y'all were going hard at one point in time, you know, and then all of a sudden you starting to slack up, they may, potentially show you some love in the beginning, like, all right, I'm gonna let that live, but after a while, it turns into like, hey, look, what's up?
Right.
And then it's also how you communicate it. You want to be respectful, right? You don't want to come at them, even though you may be sexually frustrated, still be respectful about how you communicate that, right? If you got to go woosah before you communicate with them, go woosah. You know what I'm saying?
It also talks about bringing things in, possibly, or let me see. Let me read it exactly, because I'm going to make up my own stuff.
Yeah.
Seek to renew your sexual connection by experimenting with new forms of intimacy or being more intentional about sex. So try some new things. Maybe instead of the moo-moo and the head wrap or whatever you got on, a bonnet on your head.
I like where you're going with that. Yeah.
Yeah, spice it up.
There you go.
Maybe go get your outfit, ladies, or do your hair, put on some smell good.
That's true.
Serenade
Talk about
him.
it, man. Yeah. Hey, that should hopefully get his attention, right? I mean, it would get mine. If you come in, I could be dog tired and you come in them Vickies, smelling good, got the Betty Boop. You know what I'm saying?
That might wake him up.
I could have worked a 16-hour day. Be like,
battery could have been on 10%. We at 50 now.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So that's just some ideas. Hopefully that helped. Right.
There's some games too.
Oh yeah, games.
Yeah,
of course,
there's games to spice things up, or where you. Yeah. I keep saying that, but
there's stores you can go to that adult stores that have these things that
enhancements.
Enhancements, things of that nature. Lubes, 1,000 bottles of lube, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If you're into that, hey, to each his own, right? Just to each his own. But it's not unusual, guys, for married couples to go through these dry spells on occasion. But just know that
you said it's usual or unusual.
It's unusual. It's not you. I'm sorry. It's not.
Unusual.
It's not unusual.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
So it happens, guys.
Right. It can happen, but don't think that.
Don't stay there.
Don't stay there, and don't think that it's your relationship is potentially about to end. That's not the case.
Right.
Okay. So check it out. We got one more for y'all. The fifth phase.
It's changes in aging phase.
And I think we're all gonna end up eventually going through this.
Not me.
Okay. I'm sorry. Well, not everybody in the world but Hershey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
okay, so this is where your physical and hormonal changes come into play. So as you age, your bodies change, impacting your sexual function and libido. There's that word you like again. Yeah. All right, so men, how does this affect men?
Well, with men, of course, you may have ED, erectile dysfunction. That's one thing that potentially may occur with most men at some point. Obviously, you could go to a doctor, things of that nature. They can assist with that. There's that Blue Chew. Get you some Blue Chew. You know what I'm saying?
I've never heard of these terms that you're using. ED and Blue Chew.
Yeah, erectile dysfunction and Blue Chew. Check it out. Google it. Blue Chew.
Okay, and it can affect women, like menopause. We go through menopause later on in life, so it can affect our arousal and desire. Our libido levels can go down.
Yeah, man.
So like he was saying, these are not things that necessarily have to stop that sex from happening, but you can get medical help. There's ways to work through it.
But I was also going to mention, later in life, like, that's why it's important to make sure you marry your best friend, man. Because it's not always all about sex, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's other ways you can connect as well, emotionally, right? We talked about that on the episode before.
Yeah, intimacy.
The intimacy episode, right? It's definitely important, don't get me wrong. However, you got to understand, if y'all in it for the long haul, your body's going to get older. Like I said before, it's, what's the word I used? The body is not depreciating.
Oh, deteriorating.
I want to be politically correct for Hershey. So your body is deteriorating, right? So you want to make sure, guys, that you understand at some point, you may not be able to,
work it like
go
you
hard
used
like
to.
you used to, right? yeah, you know, your body, you may slow down, you may get slower, DJ screw mode. You know what I'm saying? But again, you have to, and I think, you know, I see older couples, you know, that are actually seem to be still intimate. You know what I'm saying? It's actually intimate.
Well, I heard that
Yeah.
sometimes in menopause, maybe it's before menopause. I don't really remember. I have to go back and see.
Yeah.
But I've talked to some ladies who are older than me, and they have a higher sex drive. Like it kind of went backwards.
Yeah.
So their sex drive is higher than their husband's later on in life.
And again, I mean, you know, every individual is unique too.
Right.
That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But in closing, guys, so, you know, later in life, sexual intimacy may become more focused on emotional connection, just literally what I mentioned, comfort and closeness rather than purely physical acts, right?
Yeah.
So just something to think about, right?
Yeah. And just because one area is not working doesn't mean you can't get creative. I mean, you can still
Check on it.
get creative.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of ways to get creative. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, man? But yeah, you know, hey guys, that's talking about sex with the Marriage, Money, and Mindset crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Grown and sexy conversations around here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, like I said, it's important. It's, you know, marriage. That's top 5 for me. That's up there. You know what I'm saying? They got to be on point. You know, I would assume it's on point.
It's on point.
All right,
And
there
it's
you
top
go.
5 for me too.
There you go. You know what I'm
Probably a
saying?
little lower than yours, but it's still top 5.
Yeah, man, you know, so. But yeah, guys, you know, have that talk with your significant other. You know, if you're married watching this, or if you're in a relationship, you know, maybe ask yourself, hey, what phase are we in? You know, talk about it with your significant other. And then also talk about when you do potentially get to the aging phase, how would that be? I mean, you know.
Run the play.
Yeah, you know, think about it, you know, like you're going to get old, man, you know, so think about how, you know, your sexual life going to probably potentially be.
Decline.
Or how would you like it to be, rather, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So.
And also
Anyway.
talk about, I don't know if we talked about this, but discuss your expectations. So how often, realistically, are you expecting to have sex? That's a part of being intentional. Like, what days are we going to fit this in, especially if you have kids or you do have other priorities. You have to talk about what your expectations are. What is your sex drive?
Back to that lobotomy. What is called? Not lobotomy. Back to that.
Libido.
Back to that libido.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just edit that out. Yeah, back to that libido. Yeah. But anyway, guys, so hey, you know, we just wanted to talk, you know, go back to the marriage topic of our channel and briefly discuss some things along the lines of marriage. You know, we've been talking a lot about the money side lately. So wanted to kind of ease back into that direction, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So, you know, hey, we appreciate y'all. We hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. You know, come back next week. We're gonna be back on point, you know, doing our thing every Monday at 5, like we told y'all. Y'all like, share, comment, you know, share the channel with a friend, family member, coworker, whatever. Yeah, man. And you know, y'all come back. So and hey, until next week, man, y'all take care. Have a great week.
Peace.